Okay, so Anthropic just did something pretty insane, and it could completely change how developers work when they're not at their desk. We're talking about basically putting your main computer right in your pocket. It untethers you in a way that honestly feels a little bit like magic. So let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're deep in a project, you're in the zone, everything's clicking. But then life happens. You've got to leave, maybe you're traveling, or just stepping away from your machine. And poof, all that momentum feels like it's gone. But what if it didn't have to be?
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with that classic remote work problem, then jump into Anthropic's really elegant native solution and show you how it works. After that, we'll talk about its real power, cover the current limitations, because it's not perfect yet, and finally look at how this could seriously shake up the market for developer tools.
All right, so let's start with that core frustration. When you're doing any kind of serious development, you are usually glued to one computer, right? The one that has all your files, all your special configurations, and all the processing power you need. And this quote from the source material it captures the situation perfectly. You're trying to balance your life and your work. You want to be there with your family at the biopark, but you've got this project nagging at you. The old way of doing things meant you either had to choose one or the other, or you're that person lugging a laptop absolutely everywhere. And this is where Anthropic steps in. They've just released an official built-in feature to solve this exact problem. It's called Claude Code Remote. And the key here is that it's not some hacky workaround or a third-party app. It's a native solution.
So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, think of it like a bridge. It lets you take a coding session that's running on your powerful laptop and just seamlessly pick it up and control it from the Claude app on your phone. What's really remarkable is just how incredibly simple they've made the whole connection process. You don't have to worry about any complicated setups or messing with network configurations. It's literally designed to be instant. And that's it, I'm not kidding. On your computer, you type one single command, then you pull out your phone, open the app, and you tap to resume. Boom! The two devices are linked, and the session on your phone is a perfect mirror of what's on your laptop. And this quote right here just brilliantly spells out the secret sauce. This is not your old school remote desktop or some clunky VPN. Anthropic is handling the secure connection completely in the background, making it feel totally seamless. That's the real magic. Okay, so let's dig into what this actually means, because this is so much more than just having a remote keyboard. When you're using Cloud Remote, you are not using your phone's dinky little processor. No, you are tapping into the full power of your main computer. And that is the most crucial point to understand. Your phone just becomes a window, right? A portal to your actual laptop. Every command you type, every process you kick off, it's all executing on your home machine. And this is huge because it means you get access to absolutely everything. All your custom tools and skills, the full CPU and RAM of your computer, and even interactive stuff like the Ask tool, which lets you approve actions on your laptop right from your phone screen. This story from the source just makes it so real. I mean, just imagine that. You're generating a video thumbnail using your super powerful computer at home while you are literally at the zoo. That is the kind of freedom we're talking about here. Now, of course, we gotta have a balanced perspective. This feature is still technically a research preview, which is just a fancy way of saying it's not totally finished, and it does have some pretty notable limitations for now. First, access is still limited. It seems to be mainly for Mac and Pro users at the moment. A really big one is that you have to actually start the session on your computer before you can connect to it from your phone. And finally, if your computer generates a file, like an image, that file doesn't actually get sent back to your phone display yet. And that leads directly to the #1 feature request from everybody who's tried this. The holy grail, right, would be to do the whole thing from your phone. To start a brand new session, change directories, and get to work without ever touching the laptop to begin with. So let's zoom out a little bit. What does a feature like this mean for the whole ecosystem of developer tools? Well, anytime a big platform owner like Anthropic builds a core feature natively, it sends ripples across the entire market. You see, a lot of developers were using third-party tools, like OpenClaw, for example, specifically to solve this remote access problem. They were basically patching together a solution. But now, Anthropic is offering a smooth, integrated, and included alternative. And that puts a ton of pressure on any tool that was built just to fill that one specific gap. And that's really the main takeaway here. This isn't just another cool feature they added. It's a strategic move that fundamentally changes the game for an entire category of third-party apps. It just raises the bar for everybody else. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? As AI tools like this get better and better, turning our phones into these powerful windows to remote computers, does the actual physical device in our hand even matter anymore? Or does it just become a simple screen to access our real computer, which lives somewhere else entirely?